Far away, in the cold silence of deep space, there was a small mining colony called Virex 9. It was not important. It was not rich. It was just another outpost at the edge of the galaxy, far from the great cities and powerful worlds. The workers there lived simple lives. They mined rare minerals, sent them back to the core worlds, and waited for their contracts to end. Nothing exciting ever happened there, until the day everything changed. It started with a strange signal. At first, no one noticed it. The colony's sensors picked up a faint energy wave coming from deep space. It was weak, broken, and hard to understand. The system marked it as background noise. Something common. Something unimportant. But the signal did not stop. It repeated, again and again. Inside the main control room, a young technician named Rollin sat in front of his console. He was bored, tired, and counting the hours until his shift ended. When the signal appeared again, something about it caught his attention. It was not random. It had a pattern. Rollin frowned and leaned closer to the screen. He adjusted the filters, cleaned the noise, and isolated the signal. The waveform became clearer. It was still broken, but now it looked organized, like a message. "Control, do you see this?" Rollin asked. No one answered at first. Most of the senior officers were busy with routine reports. Virex 9 was quiet. Nothing dangerous ever happened there. Rollin tried again, louder this time. "Control, I think this is a transmission." That got their attention. Supervisor Kell entered the room, his face calm but slightly annoyed. "What is it, Rollin? Another glitch?" Rollin shook his head. "No, sir. This signal, it's repeating. It looks artificial." Kell stepped closer and looked at the screen. He watched in silence as the signal looped again. A pause. Then another. Slowly, his expression changed. "Play it," Kell said. Rollin pressed a key. The signal converted into audio. At first, it was just static. Loud, broken noise filled the room. Some of the crew covered their ears. Then, through the static, a voice appeared. Faint, weak, but real. "Help." The room went silent. Everyone froze. The voice came again, clearer this time. "Anyone receiving, this is..." The message broke apart, swallowed by static. Kell's eyes narrowed. "Boost the signal." "I'm trying," Rollin said quickly. His fingers moved fast across the console. "It's damaged, very damaged." The voice returned. "Under attack." A chill ran through the room. "Under attack?" Someone whispered. "That's not possible," another worker said. "There are no hostile forces in this sector." The voice continued, breaking in and out. "Unknown ships too fast. We can't stop them. They are everywhere." Rollin's hand started to shake. Kell leaned forward. "Where is this coming from?" Rollin checked the coordinates. His face went pale. It's coming from us," he said. Kell blinked. "What do you mean?" "The origin point, it's Virex 9. The room went completely silent. "That's impossible," Kell said sharply. "We are here. We are not under attack." But the signal did not lie. It kept repeating. "This is Virex 9 colony, requesting immediate help. We are losing control." A loud crash echoed from somewhere deep in the station. Everyone jumped. Rollin turned his head. "What was that?" No one answered. Another sound followed. This time it was louder. Metal twisting. Something breaking. The lights flickered. Kell grabbed his communicator. "Security report." Static. Only static. Then, suddenly, the colony alarms came to life. A sharp, loud warning filled every corner of the station. "Alert! Alert! Unidentified object detected." Rollin's heart started to race. He quickly switched to the external sensors. "What do you see?" Kell demanded. Rollin stared at the screen. At first, there was nothing. Just darkness. Then, something moved. A shadow. Huge. Silent. It blocked the stars behind it. Rollin's breath stopped. "There's something out there." Kell leaned closer. "Zoom in." Rollin zoomed the image. The shape became clearer. It was a ship. No, not just one ship. More shapes appeared behind it. Dozens. No, hundreds. They were massive. Dark. Their surfaces were smooth, almost like black glass. No visible lights, no markings, no signs of life, just silent giants floating in space. Identify them, Kel ordered. I can't, Rollins said. They're not in any database. The ships did not move fast. They did not attack. They just waited, watching. Then, suddenly one of the ships lit up. A single line of white light appeared across its surface. Rollin felt a strange fear in his chest. Sir, I don't think they are friendly. Before Kel could answer, the station shook violently. A powerful hit the outer hull. People screamed. Impact detected. Rollin shouted. Another followed. And another. The unknown ships had started firing. But there were no visible weapons. No beams. No missiles. Just invisible force tearing through the station like paper. Shields. Kel asked. They're failing. Rollin replied. Whatever they're using, it goes through everything. The alarms grew louder. Hull breach detected. Sector 3 destroyed. The voice from the signal returned, louder now, almost clear. They don't stop. They don't answer. This is not a battle. This is destruction. Kel's face turned pale. Send a distress signal, he ordered. Now! Rollin nodded and started typing, broadcasting on all channels. The message went out into space. This is Virex 9 colony. We are under attack. Unknown hostile fleet. Requesting immediate assistance. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, something unexpected occurred. The unknown ship stopped firing. Everything went quiet. Too quiet. Rollin looked at the screen. Why did they stop? Kel did not answer. One of the ships moved forward. Slowly. Silently. It came closer to the station. Closer. Closer. Until it filled the entire screen. Then, a signal came from the ship. Rollin's console beeped. We are receiving a transmission, he said. Kel hesitated. Play it. Rollin activated the audio. There was no static this time. No distortion. The voice was clear. Calm. Cold. We hear you. The words echoed through the room. No one moved. No one spoke. Kel swallowed. Identify yourself. A pause. Then the voice replied. You already know us. Rollin's mind raced. That was not possible. They had no record of these ships. No data. No history. Kel tried again. State your origin. Silence. Then, slowly the voice spoke again. We are what you forgot. The lights flickered once more. The station trembled. Outside, more ships appeared from the darkness. Endless. Like a fleet without end. Rollin felt something deep inside him. A strange realization. A memory from old stories. Old warnings. Things people laughed at. Things no one believed. His voice shook as he whispered. Sir, I think... Kel looked at him. What? Rollin stared at the screen, at the massive black ship, at the silent fleet surrounding them. I think they are humans. The room went cold. No one laughed this time. No one said it was a myth. Because outside, in the endless dark, the fleet began to move again. And this time, they were not stopping. The silence did not last long. Outside Virex 9, the dark fleet moved again. Slowly at first, then with purpose. Inside the control room, no one spoke. The word humans still echoed in their minds like a warning they had ignored for too long. Supervisor Kel forced himself to stay calm. Open the channel again, he said. Rollin hesitated. Sir, what if... Do it. Rollin swallowed and activated the transmitter. Unknown fleet, this is Virex 9 colony. We request communication. Please respond. For a moment, there was nothing. Then the same voice returned. Calm. Cold. We are already responding. Kel stepped forward. If you are human, then explain your actions. Why are you attacking a mining colony? There was a short pause. Then the voice answered. This is not an attack. Everyone in the room looked at each other in confusion. Kel frowned. You are destroying our station. No, the voice said. We are correcting it. A deep shook the station again. This time stronger. The walls cracked. Sparks flew from broken panels. Somewhere far below, something exploded. Rollin gripped the console. Correction? This is destruction. No, the voice repeated. Destruction is what was done to us. The words fell heavy. Dangerous. Kel's expression changed. What do you mean? There was no answer. Instead, the main screen suddenly changed. The external camera feed disappeared. In its place, a new image appeared. Old footage. Grainy. Damaged. But clear enough to understand. Rollin stared at it. What is this? The video showed a planet. Blue oceans. Green land. White clouds. Beautiful. Then the image shifted. Ships filled the sky. Not human ships. Alien ships. Hundreds of them. The planet below burned. Explosions covered the surface. Cities turned into ash. The room went silent. Earth. Rollin whispered. The voice returned. You remember? Kel's face tightened. That was the classified war. A long time ago. A war? The voice asked. There was something strange in its tone now. Not anger. Not rage. Something colder. You call it a war, it said. We call extinction. The footage changed again. Human ships fighting back. Outnumbered. Outgunned. Destroyed one by one. Then darkness. The recording ended. Silence filled the control room. No one dared to speak. Kel finally broke it. That was centuries ago. That conflict is over. For you, the voice replied. Another hit the station. A large section of the wall collapsed. Air rushed out into space. Emergency barriers sealed the breach just in time. People screamed in panic. Rollin struggled to keep his balance. Sir, we can't survive this. Kel ignored him. His eyes were locked on the screen. If you are humans, then how did you survive? This time, the answer came without delay. We adapted. Outside, one of the massive ships changed shape. Panels moved. Sections opened. For the first time, real weapons became visible. Not like anything the galaxy had seen before. Long structures glowing with deep blue energy. They were not aiming randomly. They were targeting specific parts of the station. Sir, Rollin said quietly, they're not trying to destroy everything. Kel noticed it too. They're choosing targets, he said. Precise strikes. The voice confirmed it. We are removing what should not exist. Another impact. Sector by sector, parts of the colony were erased. Not random, not chaotic. Planned, controlled. Rollin checked the damage reports. His eyes widened. Sir, they're only hitting military storage, weapon systems, and command areas. Kel froze. They're avoiding civilian sectors. The realization hit everyone at the same time. This is a revenge, Rollin said slowly. It is judgment, the voice corrected. The word felt heavier than anything before. Judgment. Kel clenched his fists. By what right? The answer came instantly. By survival. Outside, more ships moved into position. The entire colony was now surrounded. No escape. No hope. But still, they were not completely destroyed. Not yet. Rollin looked at the sensor readings again. Sir, I'm detecting incoming signals. From where? Multiple systems, nearby colonies. They're sending distress calls too. Kel's heart sank. Put them through. One by one, voices filled the room. We are under attack. Unknown fleet in orbit. They are disabling our defenses. We cannot fight them. It was not just Virex 9. It was happening everywhere. The same fleet. The same method. Fast. Precise. Unstoppable. Kel looked back at the screen. How many systems are you attacking? The voice answered calmly. Only the ones that were involved. Kel felt a chill. Involved in what? There was a pause. Then the voice spoke again. In the lie. Before Kel could ask more, Rollin interrupted. Sir, I found something. What is it? Rollin pulled up an old database file. Ancient records. Sealed archives. They matched the footage we saw. Kel moved closer. Open it. Rollin hesitated. It's restricted. Open it. Rollin bypassed the lock. The file appeared. Lines of text filled the screen. Old military logs. Operation names. Battle reports. Then a title. Final solution. Human threat. The room went cold again. Kel read quickly. His face lost all color. This is not a war report, he said. Rollin looked at him. What is it? Kel swallowed. It's a plan. The truth was clear now. The humans were not defeated in a war. They were erased. Systematically. Completely. Or at least that was a plan. The voice returned. You are beginning to understand. Kel looked up at the screen. This was before my time. Before anyone here. Time does not remove responsibility. The voice said. Another shook the station. This time, the main power flickered. Lights dimmed. Systems failed. We are losing everything. Rollin shouted. Kel stood still, thinking, fast. Then he made a decision. Stop all defenses, he ordered. Rollin stared at him. Sir, do it, now. Rollin hesitated for only a second, then obeyed. Weapons powered down. Shields dropped. The station became completely defenseless. Outside, the human ship stopped moving. The silence returned once more. Kel stepped forward. If this is judgment, then hear this. We surrender. No response. Kel continued. We did not know the truth, but we know it now. Still silence. Rollin whispered. Sir, are they going to destroy us anyway? Kel did not answer. He kept his eyes on the screen, waiting. Seconds felt like hours. Then finally, the voice spoke again. This colony will not be destroyed. A wave of relief spread through the room, but it did not last long. However, the voice continued. This is only the beginning. Outside, the fleet began to move away, not retreating, advancing, deeper into the galaxy, towards something bigger, something more important. Kel felt a deep fear rise inside him. Where are you going? The answer came like a final warning. To those who remember and chose silence, the transmission ended. The ships accelerated, faster than anything ever recorded. Within seconds, they were gone, vanished into the darkness, leaving behind a broken colony, and a truth that could no longer be hidden. Rollin looked at the empty screen. His voice was barely a whisper. They're not here for us. Kel nodded slowly. No, he said. They're here for the ones who started it. Far away, beyond the outer systems, the human fleet moved as one, silent, endless, and unstoppable. Their destination was clear, the heart of the galaxy. And this time, everyone would remember. The galaxy was waking up, far beyond Virex 9, across the glittering sea of stars. Alarms began to ring on hundreds of colonies and space stations. Alien leaders, diplomats, and military commanders scrambled to understand what had happened. Reports came in fragmented, chaotic, and terrifying. Entire defense fleets disabled without a shot fired, command centers incapacitated, and distress signals repeating the same chilling words. They are coming, and they are real. In the capital city of the Glavian Empire, high above the planet Tara Prime, Counselor Ivra stared at the holographic map hovering before her. Worlds blinked red, one after another. The outer rim was burning with panic. They what? Who? She demanded, her voice trembling. The council chamber was filled with the galaxy's most powerful beings. Each of them stared at her for guidance, though none had answers. Admiral Kor, a veteran of dozens of campaigns, spoke grimly. The reports are impossible. Entire fleets incapacitated. Colonies reporting attacks without visible weapons. It defies logic, yet our communications confirm it. And yet, he swallowed, no one knows what is attacking them. Counselor Ivra's eyes narrowed. And these messages? She tapped the floating display. Words from Virex 9 surviving records echoed through the chamber. We are what you forgot. The room went silent. Kor continued. The description matches legends. Humans. But that was centuries ago. They should be extinct. Ivra's hand tightened over the edge of the console. Legends do not erase themselves. If these humans have returned, then the galaxy is in far more danger than we thought. Far away from the council chambers, the human fleet moved like a shadow across the stars. Silent, swift, precise. No one had seen anything like it. Each ship was a perfect blend of elegance and terrifying power. Shapes designed to move like a predator in the void. The ships didn't fire randomly. They didn't need to. Each strike was calculated, surgical, and devastating. On the bridge of one of the leading human battleships, Commander Eric observed the galaxy through the main viewport. His expression was calm, almost indifferent, yet behind his eyes burned a cold determination. "Target acquired," he said. The words were clipped, almost mechanical. A holographic display lit up, showing the fleet of a minor planetary defense force. Hundreds of ships, armed, ready to fight. "Shields?" asked Lieutenant Mara, her voice steady despite the growing tension. "Ignore them," Eric said. "They will not last long." Within moments, the enemy ships were disabled. No explosions, no fire, no panic, just silent, precise annihilation. The ships drifted, inert, frozen in space like statues. Mara looked at him, puzzled. Why not destroy them completely? Eric's eyes narrowed. Because not all must die. Some must live to witness what comes next. Some must remember. As they continued their advance, other systems reported similar events. Colonies that had once secretly plotted against humans trembled in fear. Entire alliances began to collapse without a single battle. The humans were not indiscriminate killers. They were a judgment force, moving silently across the galaxy, leaving only the guilty trembling in their wake. Back on Takara Prime, Counselor Ivor slammed her fist on the table. We cannot fight what we do not understand. Every report confirms the same thing. These ships, this fleet, it is human, and they are everywhere. Everywhere, whispered Kor. But that is impossible. Their numbers should have been extinct. Ivor shook her head. Then perhaps we were wrong. Perhaps they were never truly gone. Perhaps they were waiting. Meanwhile, on a remote observation post, young alien cadet Lyre watched the human fleet through a long-range telescope. His heart raced. He had grown up hearing stories of humans, monsters, warriors, legends that no one believed. Yet now, seeing them with his own eyes, he understood. The legends were true. Worse, they were more terrifying than any story had ever said. They're beautiful, he whispered to himself, and deadly. The voice from the observation deck's intercom startled him. Report. It is as the archive said. Lyre said, his voice trembling. The humans are not attacking blindly. Every move, precise, calculated. It's as if they know every weakness before we even think to defend ourselves. From deep space, the humans move toward the heart of the galaxy. Strategic systems, military hubs, and council worlds, their path was clear. But something else moved too. Shadow fleets of alien mercenaries, and rogue warlords attempted to intercept them. Entire squadrons launched from hidden bases. They were fast, armed, and ready to die for credits or pride. The humans ignored them. Not one ship fired a shot at them unless provoked. And when provoked, it was over in seconds. A fleet of 20 alien warships attempted an ambush near the outer rim. Sensors detected the incoming human fleet, and the alien commanders prepared their strike. Missiles armed, lasers calibrated, shields activated. Then silence. The lead human ship, massive and dark as obsidian, approached the ambush at incredible speed. The alien fleet had barely a moment to react. A single pulse of energy, silent but immense, swept through formation. Shields failed instantly. Weapons jammed. Communications cut. And then, without warning, the alien ships collapsed into drifting wrecks, perfectly intact but completely paralyzed. Not a single life lost, yet every commander knew they had no chance of fighting back. Commander Eric observed the aftermath. His voice calm, marked them as witnesses. Across the galaxy, messages spread. Even worlds that had once laughed at the idea of humans being more than legends now trembled in fear. Histories were rewritten. Alliances began to crumble. Counselor Ivor stood in the chamber, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. If they are targeting the guilty, then we must ask ourselves, what are we guilty of? Kor swallowed. Everything. Every secret. Every betrayal. Every lie we told to erase them from history. Ivor's eyes hardened. Then it begins. We will face the humans. And we must be ready, or the galaxy will burn. In the cold darkness of space, the human fleet continued their march, shadows across the stars. Silent, Endless, judging, and far away on a small outpost, young liar whispered again to himself, watching the fleet disappear into the distance. They were never legends, and now we will learn the cost. But even as fear spread and panic consumed the galaxy, one thing became clear. Humans were no longer hiding. They were not asking for forgiveness. They were here to be remembered. And the galaxy would never forget again. The galaxy had changed. No one could deny it anymore. From a frozen ice world to the outer rim, to the shining spires of the council capital, whispers filled the void. The humans have returned. The council convened in emergency. Every leader, every species with power, gathered in the largest chamber ever constructed on Tara Prime. The air was tense, thick with fear, guilt, and uncertainty. Counselor Ivor stood at the center, her hands pressed against the edge of the grand console. The room was dark, lit only by the flickering holograms of countless systems now under threat. "They move faster than our defenses," she said, her voice echoing across the chamber. "They strike with precision, disabling fleets before they even know they are in danger. And yet they have not attacked us directly." Admiral Kor's face was grim. "Not yet, but the fleets we sent to intercept them neutralized before any battle could begin. They're not killing unnecessarily. They're sending a message, judging who deserves to live and who doesn't." A young diplomat, trembling, whispered, Do we deserve to survive?" Ivor's gaze hardened. "That depends on what we do next." Far from the council chamber, the human fleet approached the heart of the galaxy. Stars streaked by like falling sparks. Each ship moved as if it were part of one living organism. No commands needed, no hesitation. Only purpose. On the flagship, Commander Eric stood before the navigation array. His eyes were calm, but his mind raced through centuries of history, betrayals, and lost colonies. Every planet destroyed in secrecy. Every fleet erased from memory. Every lie told to declare humans extinct. "This ends now," he said. His voice was cold, absolute. "We give the galaxy one final chance." Lieutenant Mara glanced at him. "One chance, and if they refuse?" Eric's eyes narrowed. "Then the cost will be known." At that moment, the communications officer called out, "Sir, we are receiving transmissions from the council capital. They want to speak." Eric's lips curved into a faint smile. "Put them through." The holographic image flickered to life. Counselor Ivor appeared, older than before, her expression wary. Behind her, the full council watched. Their voices trembled. "Humans," Ivor began. We did not expect this return. We thought you were gone. Extinct. Legends at best." Eric's voice echoed through the bridge. "Calm. Measured. We are very real. And we are no longer waiting." Ivor swallowed hard. We want peace. We will cooperate. Please do not destroy us." There was silence. Then Eric's voice again. "Peace is earned, not begged for. You have hidden the truth for centuries. You have declared us extinct while plotting our annihilation. You have lied, stolen, and killed." The council gasped. Ivor's hands trembled. "That was before our time. We were not responsible." Eric's eyes bore into her through the hologram. "Time does not erase responsibility. You inherited the lies, the crimes, and now the consequences." A pulse of energy rippled through the fleet's weapons. Not an attack, yet a clear warning. "The first judgment has already been passed," Eric said quietly. "Your fleets, your colonies, your outposts, you have seen what happens to those who hide the truth. But we are not here to wipe out everyone. Only those who betrayed, who lied, who committed injustice." The council shivered. None dared interrupt. Ivor asked carefully, "And those of us who are innocent?" Eric's gaze softened slightly. "Witnesses will survive. Remember, tell the truth. Repair what you can." Outside, the human fleet began moving again. Faster, not into battle, but into orbit around the core worlds. Those that had plotted against humans, that had benefited from their supposed extinction, trembled. Some surrendered without firing a shot. Others tried to flee, only to find that escape was impossible. Meanwhile, in the outer rim, young Cadet Lyre watched the same fleet streak across the stars. He had been sent on reconnaissance to track human movements. His hand hovered over his communicator. He wanted to report fear. He wanted to scream. He wanted to run. Instead, he whispered, "They are not monsters. They are justice." On Earth, long hidden, long silent, the last human stronghold pulsed with life. Eric returned to the observation deck. Behind him, engineers and pilots moved with precision, the hum of the ships a steady rhythm. "Commander," Mara said, "the Council, they are complying. They are broadcasting the truth to all worlds." Do we stop here?" Eric's gaze lifted to the stars. "No, the truth must reach everyone. Every colony, every fleet, every council must know who we were and what they did. Only then can balance be restored." At that moment, a transmission arrived from the Outer Rim. A small fleet of alien ships, once pirates and mercenaries, sent a desperate plea. "We wish to surrender. We were complicit. Please, we want to make amends." Eric nodded. "Let them live. They will bear witness." And so, the human fleet continued, moving like a shadow across the stars, unstoppable, precise, and patient. The first wave of rebellion was ending. The second was beginning, not with violence, but with revelation. Truth spread to the galaxy faster than any fleet could move. Records were unearthed. Lies were exposed. Secrets shattered. On the Council Capital, Ivor watched the transmissions in horror and awe. Entire histories were rewritten before her eyes. Worlds that had once plotted against humans now begged for forgiveness. Fleets that had once trained for war against them now lowered their weapons. And yet, the humans did not stop. From the shadows of the outer colonies, whispers spread. They were never extinct. They were waiting. They are inevitable. In the core of the galaxy, the final confrontation loomed. Not a battle of weapons, but a battle of truth and consequences. Eric stood on the flagship's observation deck. Behind him, the fleet stretched endlessly. He spoke softly, almost to himself. "We gave them warning. We gave them a chance. Now the reckoning begins." Then, without another word, the fleet surged forward, faster than light, across systems that had once thought themselves safe. The galaxy watched. The legends had returned. And this time, nothing would ever be the same. In the council chamber, Ivor whispered, "The legends, they were never stories. They were waiting. And now we will learn the cost." Far away, young Lyre watched the stars disappear behind the advancing fleet. He did not know if he would survive. He did not know if anyone would. But one thing was certain. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy would never forget.